Hello everybody, it's Mel. Thank you for joining me today for the Bones book tag. So yes, today I am going to be doing the Bones book tag. Now, this is a tag that is based around the TV show Bones. It is the show about a forensic anthropologist or a forensic archaeologist. No, I'm pretty sure it's anthropologist. Called Temperance Brennan, who works at the Smithsonian Museum in America. They work closely with the FBI to solve murders, basically. So, the tag was created by Angela from Literary Science Alliance. I will link her channel down below. She is a wonderful booktuber and has some really interesting opinions about books. She's read a lot of really interesting sounding books and introduced me to quite a few different sounding books. So when I saw this tag, I thought it sounded like a lot of fun. I do like the TV show Bones. I have not seen the whole thing. I'm not a fan the way Angela is, but I do like the TV show Bones and I think that it is fun. And I also just think this tag is really interesting and well thought out, so that's why I decided to do the tag. I wasn't tagged by anyone, but anyone that I do mention in this video will be tagged down below in the description, so you can go and check them out. Like I said, especially Angela, who created the tag. Go and subscribe to Angela and anyone else, and yeah. So let's dive in to the questions. They are all based around characters from the show Bones. The first question or prompt is based around the diner, which is obviously a place, but I believe that Angela described in her video she felt like the diner itself was kind of a character. It is the place where they all meet up outside of work to talk about their lives. They do a lot of talking about work there as well, but just to kind of generally hang out outside of work and spend time together. So, for the diner, the prompt is a favourite cozy series, and then it says one that you can reread forever, or it's a long running series with new entries that get you excited. So, by the way, I'm looking over here because that's where my computer is with all the questions and answers. I actually have two answers to this question. The first answer is Heartstopper by Alice Oseman, and the second answer is Nevermore by Jessica Townsend. Now, the reason I picked two is because they're both very cozy, but when I'm talking about Heartstopper, I have read the graphic novel series and I have really enjoyed the graphic novel series. I think it's incredibly well done, but my allegiance is going to always be to the TV show adaptation. Now, it is a very close adaptation, so I don't feel, and Alice Oseman works very closely on the adaptation, so I don't feel too bad about that being my preference out of the two. But I thought that because I was picking a TV show, sort of, for one of my answers, I thought I would also pick a, book series. So I've gone with Nevermore, which is a middle grade fantasy series. Heartstopper, for anyone that doesn't know, is a graphic novel, young adult, contemporary romance series, and yeah, Nevermore is a middle grade fantasy series. Both are fantastic, both are very cozy, but both deal with some fairly hard-hitting things at the same time. Both are very well done, and I've enjoyed both of them. So those are my answers to prompt number one. Prompt number two, Bones. So Bones is a character, Temperance Brennan. They are the forensic anthropologists, so they do all of the analysing of the bones to figure stuff out. And the prompt for this is book that features a rational character. And I decided to go with Emily Wilde from Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies and that whole entire series. For anyone that doesn't know, it may sound a little bit odd to pick a rational character from a book entitled Encyclopedia of Fairies, but Emily Wilde herself is quite a rational character. So in the world that Emily Wilde lives in, fairies are real and they are considered kind of more like creatures, and Emily studies them and she is making an encyclopedia of fairies, and she travels to various different places, does research, takes notes. She's writing an encyclopedia of fairies, and she is, like I said, a very rational character. She is all about getting the research done, recording the information and the data, and telling people the actual truth, the stats, the whole cold hard facts about fairies. So that's why I picked her for this book, for this question even. Prompt number three is Booth, who is the FBI agent who works closely with Temperance Brennan. Seeley Booth is his name. And the prompt says, a book that features a white knight persona. So for this one, my answer is going to be the Deadly Education series, or the Scholarman series by Naomi Novik. And the character I'm particularly talking about is Orion Lake. For anyone that's read the series, you know what's actually going on there, but Orion Lake is a kind of hero character, and he takes on a lot of heroic feats throughout the stories, oftentimes despite not necessarily people wanting to help him to do that and help out. But yeah, Orion Lake is my knight in shining armor. Is that what it says? White knight persona. All right, question number 4 is Angela. So Angela is one of the team. I believe she does like reconstructions and stuff like that, which is why her prompt is a book that features a free spirit or artistic character. So for this one, I've decided to go with Anne Shirley from Anne of Green Gables by L.M. Montgomery. If you know that series at all, you know why. Anne is a very free spirit. She is full of imagination, she is precocious, she's always getting into all sorts of trouble and scrapes. But yeah, she's a very free spirit. She's very free and very imaginative and vivacious and precocious and just a lovely character. I love Anne, but yeah, definitely a free spirit. I don't know about necessarily specifically artistic, although she does do recitals and plays and that sort of thing, so I guess she's artistic. But yeah, Anne Shirley is my answer to that question. Question number 5, or prompt number 5, we have Hodgson's. So Hodgson's is like the bug and slime guy, and that's why the prompt for him is features a character that finds beauty where most people find slime. And the answer for this question that I'm going with is Temperance Brennan, who you could say from the show, but I'm actually talking about the Temperance Brennan from the books. So Bones was originally a book series which was written by Kathy Reichs, and the main character is also Temperance Brennan. She's quite a different person in the series rather than the TV show. She is the same role. She is she was a forensic anthropologist, and so she does study the bones and all the different things to go with the bones, the site, and she does a lot of the same stuff Hodgson does as well. She studies the various different bugs and states of decay and all that sort of thing. So that is why I've decided to go with Temperance Brennan. Question number 6, the person is Cam, and she is the boss basically, and her prompt is features a character that brings the team together or is incredibly organized. And for this one, I've decided to go with the first half of that question, or that prompt, which is brings the team together, and I've decided to go with Viv from Legends and Lattes. And the reason for this is because Viv is a character in the original. She is literally bringing the team together because she is hiring them to work in building, first of all, the cafe, the coffee shop, and then working in the coffee shop to help make coffee and all the various things that one does in a coffee shop. So she's bringing the team together and they become very close, found family. But in the prequel, she's not employing people, but she's the person that brings people together in the story as well. So that is my answer. Viv from Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldry. All right, next question or next prompt is Sweets, and he is the psychologist or psychiatrist that is brought in. I think he's an FBI psychiatrist, and he's brought in to work with the team because they deal with a lot of pretty full-on stuff. I'm pretty sure that's why. He was brought in later in one of the later seasons. Therefore, the prompt is a favourite character introduced later in a series or didn't become a favourite until later. And the character that I've gone with for this one is the Fool from the Realm of the Elderling series. The Fool is a character that appears first of all in Farseer trilogy, but they're not super important. They are important to Fitz, our main character, but they're not super important to the overall plot of the Farseer trilogy. They do have some important roles, but it's sort of secondary, and they become quite close to Fitz. And I would say that I started to really like the Fool in probably the second book, but it wasn't until the Tawny Man trilogy, which is the third trilogy, that I really, really started to enjoy the Fool and found them to be a favourite character of mine. So that is the Fool from the Realm of the Elderling series by Robin Hobb. Then we have Caroline, and I don't really know much about Caroline, but her prompt is funniest supporting character. And for this, I had to go with Marvin, the paranoid android from the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy series by Douglas Adams. So Marvin is an android, as the name suggests, and he is extremely depressed. As he would put it, he has the brain the size of a planet, and yet his job is to do things like collect people and bring them to the bridge and stuff like that. So he's feeling underutilized, he's depressed, and yeah, he's just a hilarious character, I think. You have to have a particular sense of humor for Douglas Adams, but if you do, you love Marvin. Most people that love the books love Marvin. So he is my answer to this question. Next up, we have the interns. So throughout the various different seasons of Bones, there were lots of different interns that worked with the team, and so Angela has just put them all together as the interns for the purpose of this tag. The question, or the prompt, is a book with more than 7 points of view. So for this one, I went with A Song of Ice and Fire, which is the series by George R.R. Martin, rather than the book, but the first book is Game of Thrones. I could have just gone with Game of Thrones, except that I'm not 100% sure whether it itself has more than 7 points of view, but the entire series definitely does. So that is the answer to that question. Question number 10 is Big Bad, your favourite villain. So the series has several different big bads or villains appear throughout the different series, and so for that reason you have to pick your favourite villain. I have actually chosen, again, a TV show. I've chosen a character, like I said, from a TV show rather than a book, and that character is Zuko from Avatar: The Last Airbender. This is probably, minor spoilers for Avatar, this is probably a little bit of maybe a cheat. Well, first of all, because it's a TV show. But second of all, because Zuko doesn't remain a villain. But I love his character arc. I love his redemption story. I just think that his whole story is done incredibly, incredibly well. He starts out as definitely the villain of the story, and then you see him become a different person and end up teaming up with our heroes. So, sorry for the spoilers. I hope that anyone who's watching who wants to will, yeah, sorry. But that is my answer to that question. And then the final question, love stories. Your favourite will they, won't they story. So if you don't know, Bones features our two main characters, Bones and Booth, and they have the will they, won't they situation going on. So for this one, I've actually decided to go with Tiffany and Leon from The Flatshare by Beth O'Leary. This is one of my favourite romances of all time. I would actually say this is probably more of a contemporary fiction rather than a romance, but romance has a strong subplot. Obviously, our two main characters, Tiffy and Leon, are our will they, won't they couple. So yeah, that's the answer. Now, it doesn't specifically say to tag people, so I'm not actually going to tag anyone, but if you like the sound of this tag and you would like to do it, then consider yourself tagged. You can always say that I tagged you if you want to do that. But yeah, that is the tag, which means that's the end of the video for today. So I thought that was really fun and really interesting. So thank you, Angela, for creating such an interesting tag. Like I said, please do go and subscribe to Angela. And yeah, that's everything that I wanted to talk to you about today. Please leave me a comment if you have any thoughts you'd like to share with me. Let me know any answers to any of these questions that you'd like to let me know. If you'd like to leave me a comment but you don't know what, then leave me the bone emoji for obvious reasons. So yeah, thank you so much for joining me today. I really do hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, I would absolutely love it if you would subscribe to my channel and give this video a thumbs up. And yeah, like I said, thank you so much for joining me today. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time.